Hello, hello, hello. I pray that any of you who are watching this video is having a wonderful day so far. I know I am. I'm thankful and I'm blessed. So let's get started. I've already placed a photo of the cover of the book at the beginning of this video. And I want to say that the purpose of me starting this is so that I could share novels that I have read that I enjoyed with my fellow avid readers who may not have read these yet. I know I'm always looking for new books to read, and sometimes I'll ask, and sometimes people will tell me about a story and I go and check it out, and there isn't much in the synopsis, and I purchase it and I love it. Then there are times where that same scenario plays out and I purchase it on a whim and I don't enjoy it at all. So I'm just basically doing this so that way, from word of mouth, anybody else looking for a good read can try it out on their own. The book in question is called Rescued. This is the first book that I will be reviewing on this channel. Forgive me if I mispronounce any word, any names, whether it be the author's name or the character's names. It is not intentional. I make mistakes. I falter over my words. I'm new at this, so please bear with me. Also, if you are not a fan of historical romance novels, this is not the book for you. I know I have a lot of people who I've come across and they love to read, but they don't like historical romance novels, especially my fellow brown sisters. They don't enjoy historical romance because they can't kind of fathom, that being a romantic period. I can, because I know that's how I got here. Somebody had to fall in love somewhere, maybe. But I enjoy it. I enjoy a good love story. Also, if you're not a fan of interracial romance, this is not the book for you. The female lead is black and the male lead is white. So if you're not a fan of that, this is not the book for you. So let's get into it. The female lead, her name is Amelia Marriott, and the male lead is Jordan Bradford. Now, the book is set in New Orleans during the 1870s. I believe 1872 is the year that it opens up. And Amelia is a maid / nanny / cook in the Bradford home. Now, she's supposed to have been working for the Bradford family for a while, but she has yet to meet Jordan Bradford, which is the head of the house. He inherited the businesses from his father, as well as built on and added on, along with his good friend Jasper. Jasper is married to his cousin, and they're pretty much like best friends. When his parents passed, he was left to care for his little sister. Her name is Georgia, and Georgia is a bright, spirited little girl. She's very fond of Amelia. She loves her brother. It's her big brother. Anyhow, Amelia's been working for the Bradford family for a while, but she has yet to meet Jordan Bradford. When he would come to town, he would sometimes stay with his cousin or stay in town. He wouldn't stay at his home. So Amelia hadn't met him yet. The book opens up where Amelia's getting dressed for her date with her intended. Now, Amelia was left to be raised by her Aunt Lorraine after the death of her mother. Her Aunt Lorraine is, in my opinion, a very bitter woman who never, if I'm remembering correctly, got along with Amelia's mother when she was alive. Lorraine is one of those black people during that time who feels that lighter and thinner is better. Lorraine is supposed to be thin, tall, and light, whereas Amelia's mother was dark and, plump or bust, full-figured, so to speak. So Amelia is her mother. She's dark and she's not skinny, but she's not, overweight. And her aunt picks on her and makes the darndest comments and says the craziest things to her. So her aunt kind of has her feeling like, well, you're up there in age, so, you know, nobody's going to want you. So you got to be thankful that this old man whom she's supposed to be preparing to marry, his name is Morgan, that he wants you. So Amelia kind of goes along with it because she feels like, well, you know, I want to have kids and I can probably grow to love him, but he's so nasty to Amelia. So Amelia's getting ready for the date, and I guess she takes too long in his opinion, and he gets upset with her when she comes downstairs. He kind of like jerks her around a little bit, and he just tells her to go on about her day because, you know, she's ruined his mood. So she gladly goes and packs her things so she can go to work, because she works in the Bradford home, and when she does work, I believe she works like days at a time, and then she comes home on the weekend, and that's when I guess she would spend time with him. So anyhow, she packs up her things and she walks to work, and immediately when she gets there, she works alongside this woman who is the caretaker of the house. Her name is Vivian. Now, from the description in the book, I can't tell if a Vivian is white or if she's supposed to be mulatto, quadroon, octoroon, whatever. I don't know. Based off the description, they really didn't say, not that I can recall. Maybe I just missed over that. But Vivian's very fond of Amelia, and they get along well. And like I said, Georgia, she loves Amelia. So she comes in, and Amelia's in the kitchen, and she wants Amelia to play with her. And Amelia is like, I'm working, but I'll play with you later. So they have like this little thing that they do, you know, they get along well. So like I said, Jordan has yet to meet his whole entire staff, and Amelia has never met him. So when they meet, it's kind of like, boom, I think immediately they are attracted to one another. And I'm going to skip forward a little bit. There's like what kind of starts out their relationship, so to speak, is Amelia, she mistakenly breaks a vase, and Jordan tells her, don't worry about it, you know, I didn't like the vase. Oh, excuse me. He tells her, don't worry about it, I didn't like that vase anyway. And she replaces it. She gives him a vase. So he takes the vase and he leaves it on his desk instead of placing the vase that she bought to replace it with. Instead of taking that and placing it back, and I guess it was like in the hallway, the foyer or something, he takes it and leaves it on his desk. So his best friend, Jasper, he notices the vase and he makes a comment about it, and Jordan says, oh, the maid bought that. And he's like, well, why is it on your desk? So it's kind of like that's when the turning point is for them building this relationship. So they have this like flirting back and forth, and they bicker and they kind of argue, and it's cute to me. And his family, let me also say, his family, they don't treat the black people in the town the way a lot of, I'm sure a lot of the locals, the whites in New Orleans at the time, may have treated black people. They're not really like that. So that's what sets them apart from, you know, the norm. So anyhow, they go back and forth with this bickering. He has this woman that he sees from time to time, I guess, when he wants to kind of, you know, get his little groove on. And her name is Melanie. And Melanie is a woman of the night, so to speak. So she's not somebody that he would, or any man in that time would probably marry anyway. Jordan has been married before, and his wife really did a number on him. She was older than him, so he doesn't want to get married again. He doesn't trust women based off of what his ex-wife did to him. And so the whole book is like the author takes you back to the relationship he had with his ex-wife, and then towards the end of the book, she explains everything. So if you want to pick the book up, you can get all the details with that if you read the book. But anyhow, I will say, and this may be giving away a key point in the book, so if you plan to get the book Rescued by Arlene Lam, you might want to cut this video off at this point, because I'm going to say something that maybe some people may feel like is giving away too much. But Amelia and Jordan, they end up okay, I had to cut it. I decided not to give away too much. The story is well over 300 pages, like 311 pages, I believe. You know, some of those aren't the storyline, you know, with the acknowledgments and so forth, table of contents and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not a very lengthy story, so I didn't want to give away too many key points, because my whole point in doing these reviews is to share what I loved about the story, little things that maybe I didn't. And my hope is for you to go and get your own copy, whether it be paperback or e-copy. So I didn't want to give away too much. I will share screenshots of certain things that I've highlighted that just touched me, like things that he may have said to Amelia or she said to him, because again, it is a romance story. I will say that although Jordan didn't want to admit it, he fell hard for Amelia. He fell in love with her. It's not unbelievable to me. I know some people may feel like it's unbelievable, it was rushed or whatever, but I'm a romantic junkie at heart, so it's not unbelievable to me. She fell hard for him, and she didn't have an issue with expressing her love for him and telling him so, because all she ever wanted was to be loved, respected, and adored, and Jordan did that for her. He did that for her. So to me, the author brought it together beautifully. I really enjoyed it. It was no different than a love story of today's time. So like I said, if you can eliminate the time period and just think of it in the sense of what Amelia and Jordan went through, is what most couples go through. You know, sometimes one or the other doesn't want to admit, you know, certain things, or they don't want to open themselves up based off of, you know, the past of something they've gone through. So it was easy for me to just see the beauty in that. I will say my only gripe about the story is that Amelia, she was supposed to be very educated, very well spoken, but her friends, apparently they weren't supposed to be. Now, the author didn't write in that Amelia had gone off to like some school or something in that time. And Oberlin was a school that a lot of women would go to. And the author didn't write in that, you know, Amelia had attended any school, any university or something like that. So I was trying to figure out if these friends, she's known them for years, and she grew up with them, how come they didn't speak just as well as her? The way the author wrote how they spoke, and I understand when we're around our friends, we have our own jargon and we speak a certain way versus when we're handling business. We all do it, black, white, we all do it. So I get that, but it was just in general, like they'll say this and who this, and, you know, just I didn't care for that. Especially there was a comment that Amelia's friend, Nina, I think it was, her husband, Cole, I think it's Nina, but anyway, her husband, there's a scene where her husband says, get out of here, white boy. And I'm not saying that back in the 1800s that phrase wasn't used, but for a black man to talk to a white man like that in that day and time, that was just a little odd. I'm not saying that couldn't have happened, but it was just a little odd. I just felt that was so cliche, and I didn't like it. I didn't like how the author wrote in for her friends to speak. Now, Morgan spoke that way, but he was supposed to be an older gentleman, and he was supposed to be like this old meanie. So that didn't really bother me. But for all the black people in the book, except for Amelia, to speak that way, that didn't really sit well with me. There's another gentleman in the book. He spoke that way too, like, oh, you sure is. And I'm like, it was just kind of annoying. So, I mean, maybe you don't understand. Maybe you feel I'm being annoying by saying it. But for me, I didn't care for that. So I just wanted to say that. Other than that, I love the book. Like I said, I've read it several times because just the way he loved her and adored her, it just does something to me. So, yeah, I would like for you guys to go and pick it up. So now I'm going to flip over to the end of my review. So stay tuned in. It just goes from there. Now, I've probably already given away too much, but I just wanted to share with you guys this book. It's a cute little love story, in my opinion, set back. No one could probably ever imagine that something like this could really happen, but I'm sure it can. It's not impossible that in that day and age that a black woman and a white man could fall in love. I'm sure that's happened plenty times, just like today's time. So I enjoyed the story. Now, there were quite a few typos. There were a few things that didn't add up. Quite a few things that didn't add up time-wise. It jumped a lot without really easing into it. But overall, it was a great story. And I believe I gave it 4 or 5 stars, but I want to say 4. But I really enjoyed it. So if you're interested, go pick it up. It's called Rescued. It's by Arlene Lam. I know I've rambled a lot. I'll probably try to cut this video a little bit. So there you have it. I will talk to you guys on the next video. Hopefully I'll get better at this because, yeah. So stay tuned for more and have a beautiful day. Bye.